The Pentagon announced last week that it would open up all positions in the military to women, including combat positions. But science, and history, suggest the road to combat equality may be a difficult one. As long as they qualify and meet the standards, women will now be able to contribute to our mission in ways they could not before. They'll be able to drive tanks, give orders, lead infantry soldiers into combat, U.S. Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter said at a news conference Thursday, December 3. The new decision isn't a surprise. The military had already lifted a ban on women in combat, noting that women in Iraq and Afghanistan were often on the front lines even when not formally assigned to combat positions. The Department of Defense had also previously required the armed forces to define gender-neutral standards for combat positions, which the Navy, Army, and U.S. Special Operations Command enacted. Over the past 2 years, each branch of the armed forces assessed the impact of opening combat positions to women and developed plans for how to integrate women into combat roles. Only the Marines recommended keeping certain combat positions close to women. The new announcement means the Marines will open all their combat positions to women, and will make 220,000 positions across the military open to women. The old cliché is that women and men think so differently that it's as though they were from different planets. But when it comes to their brains, the difference is more akin to living in nearly identical houses in a generic suburb. A study published last week found that there's no such thing as a male, or female brain, but rather that the brains of both sexes are a mosaic of male-like and female-like features. Other studies have found that tiny, average differences between men and women in cognitive ability tend to wash out on the individual level. But in one way, the sex difference is stark: men are physically stronger than women, on average. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that men had an average of 26 pounds, 12 kilograms, more skeletal muscle mass than women. Women also exhibited about 40% less upper body strength and 33% less lower body strength, on average, the study found. The researchers found that height and weight differences between men and women could explain only about half of the difference in strength. Researchers reporting in 1993 in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that men's brawn could also be attributed to a larger cross-section in individual muscle fibers. These numbers may only loosely translate to the battlefield. The push for the integration of women has forced the military to rethink the standards for combat positions. For instance, in October, the Marine Corps instituted gender-neutral physical requirements, some of which were more rigorous than the previous requirements. For instance, all Marines will need to be able to scale a wall and evacuate a casualty, while other combat positions may require specialized tests, such as swimming 1.2 miles, 2,000 m, with fins or scaling rickety ladders, according to the Marine Corporation Times. However, even with combat positions technically open to women, don't expect instant or even long-term parity between the sexes, said Agnes Cherubin-Schaefer, a senior political scientist with Rand Corporation in Pittsburgh, who published a study December 3 on how to integrate women into the Marine Corps. We found that across foreign militaries, the number of women in these positions is very low, typically far below 10%, Schaefer told Live Science.